How goes it all? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Happy Tuesday and all that good stuff. Today's topic is near and dear to my heart because I love to support local business. I especially love to support African American business. And we're talking about Mr. Maurice Harris here. All right. Now, Los Angeles City, big city of dreams, gorgeous beaches, mountains, one of my favorite places to be. Now, this is a wonderful article that I came across the other day, because it actually talks about a great African-American owned business known as Bloom and Plume Coffee, which is definitely brewing something special, family, all right? The owner of this wonderful and greatest business, establishment, etc. is Mr. Maurice Harris, who went through a year of construction delays. He had the pleasure of finally opening his doors in good old Los Angeles. And Mr. Harris Bloom and Plume's Coffee Cafe, which is actually located next to his other business, Bloom and Plume Florist Studio in Los Angeles, Filipino Town District. Now, the actual address is 1638 West Temple Street, Los Angeles, California. Once again, Bloom and Plume's Coffee is located at 1638 West Temple Street, Los Angeles, California. 926 is the area code, is the zip code. So please go and check them out, families. Like I said, love to throw my support to local business. And the beautiful thing is with him having two different businesses, you talk about being a serial entrepreneur, right? Okay. Now, Mr. Harris Coffee Company's motto is thirsts come, thirst serve. I love that, and because that's, when it's a rarity I go to a coffee shop because I'm a make coffee at home kind of guy, but I do love to support the mom and pop coffee places because it seems like they add a little bit more zing, a little bit more zazz to the coffee compared to if I go to like Dunkin' Donuts. Well, don't even get me started on that. And going to Starbucks, I'd rather go to Starbucks than Dunkin' Donuts any day. That's just what it is. No disrespect if you work at any of those establishments or whatnot, but hey, I know what I like. You know what you like. Let's call it a day and let's move it on. You know what I mean? But hey, the beautiful thing about this shop is it doesn't only just serve good coffee, but they actually serve fresh juices, pastries, sweet and savory toasts, cornmeal waffles, and La Marzocco GB5. I like that because when you like to have options when you go someplace. And I know I like having options when I venture to any specific establishment. And Bloom and Plume is definitely going away from the whole mainstream way of doing business. And in the city of Los Angeles, California, going against the mainstream is what the city is all about. A city like LA, Portland, Seattle, Atlanta, and I like that. I like places where not being so overly conservative and overly, it has to be 1, 2, 3. Sometimes you can go to 3 and go back to 1 at the same time, And there's nothing wrong with being overly conservative, but for me personally, I like being around people that's a little bit more open-minded and, willing to just go. I mean, that's what attracts me to a specific town in a place where not everybody's the same and not everybody has the same background story. You know what I mean? But that's just me all at the same time. I think that's one of the things about the DMV I find dry because most people's stories in the DMV area is truly the same, and a lot of times it just becomes dull and predictable in my personal opinion. But I'll leave it at that. I think that's why I said like LA speaks to somebody like me. But anyways, I digress. Now, and like I said, with it being in LA, one thing I can truly admire about Mr. Harris is that he and his brother Moses wanted to be able to have a place that they could be able to walk to, a place that they can, have a great laid back hangout, atmosphere. And a lot of times people don't realize that a lot of coffee shops are like hangout spots and whatnot. People conduct business meetings there. They do their homework there. A lot of times they're even looked at as co-op spaces where people just go there literally to write papers or actually work on a business. Sometimes people will work out a deal with the business owners of certain coffee shops. So, hey, can we have our meetings here? Hey, can we have our events here? Hey, can we do this? So there's a real sense of community. That's the best way to put it. A real big sense of community. You know what I mean? And speaking of his brother Moses, that's him in the picture. I want you guys to definitely see it. And then you get to see the inside of the establishment. Next time I'm in LA, which will be next month, I gotta go. I gotta check this place out. So you guys are gonna get my business. Hopefully I can at least get delivery services and whatnot, because I know most of these cities are still shut down or are going to start shutting down more as we go deeper into the fall season, unfortunately. Now, back to the story at hand. Another thing that they wanted to do, Mr. Harris and his brother, Mr. Harris, Maurice and Moses, is that they wanted to keep the work within their own neighborhood, which I definitely admire that. And I can understand that, because being able to have the pleasure of walking to an establishment is a great thing. You know, there's a good population of people who love to live within a major metropolitan city. That population loves the fact that they can live in a close proximity of their jobs, businesses, stores, entertainment, etc. Mr. Harris stated that everything that we do basically goes to Hancock Park and West, and it's interesting and really cool stuff that they do, but none of it gets to stay within the community a lot of times. Now, I'm definitely understand and agree, because if any community anywhere in the world allows their art / business / talent / dollars to circulate and percolate outside of their community within minutes, hours, days, then the opportunity for a community to grow or remain stable is darn near impossible. And thanks to his Instagram, Mr. Maurice Harris's Instagram profile and his awesome growing fan base locally and nationally, which will increase his customer base, Mr. Harris stated that a good chunk of his support comes from people seeing an African American operate in a mostly white dominated industry such as the coffee industry. And that's why I wanted to highlight this story, because it's not every day you get to see a coffee shop owned by an African American. So I find that to be commendable and a beautiful thing all at the same time. And that's why I highlight these certain things and whatnot, because this is how you keep people in business, by people at least knowing it, giving it a shot. If you don't like it, fine, but at least give it a shot. You know, this is how people vote with their dollars since it's election day. Okay, you just, patron a specific local community shop like this, spend a couple bucks, call it a day. And given, the fact that gentrification has been on the rise in Los Angeles and for the last 15 years, just like in any major city across the United States of America, basically you're seeing the changing of how things were back in the 80s and 90s to what they are now. Cost of rent and cost of home prices are going up, and to a point where most working people can't afford to live there. So, Mr. Harris and his family, please keep up the great work, because one thing that really and truly needs to be taken into consideration is the only way to combat any sort of gentrification is through partnership, home ownership, and business ownership. There's no other way, family. And I'll say that again. The only way to combat gentrification is through partnership, home ownership, and business ownership. There's no other way, no matter who the president is. If you don't do that, then it doesn't matter who the governor is, that you cannot combat it, period. If you don't vote with your dollars every single day of the year, no matter what year it is, then I don't know what to tell you. All right. So all the protesting, all the vlog videos, all the hashtags in the world will not and cannot combat or halt any sort of gentrification, family. Cash money halts gentrification, and it must come from action and assets and community. Getting back to a sense of community. I think that's the best way to look at it. And I don't think that's a crazy concept. And stop worrying about all the time if you agree on everything. Find out what you actually do agree on. That's another thing I think we, as a society, period, need to understand, especially with it being election day. And I'm going to go live less than an hour talking about this. But yeah, we just need to get back to community, figuring out what we agree on, and then work and build relationships that matter the most, network with people that matter the most, and call it a day. Arguing with people on the internet's never been my forte, and I know I'm the guy that makes the YouTube videos, but never been my forte 10 years ago, and it's definitely not my forte now. I don't see it being my forte in the future. I like to only engage with people that want to talk about what we actually agree on so we can build and whatnot. And if we disagree, cool, we can agree to disagree in a respectful manner. I say that all the time, all right? So I'll see you guys later. Do the great 3 free things, like, share, and subscribe. Check out the Free Bay, used to be Care Bars International. Hey, we're buying cryptocurrency, we're buying gold. You have an opportunity to not only buy these specific assets, but do a referral marketing all at the same time and make a certain amount of money and get access to free training all at the same time. If you're on my Facebook page, you see me sharing the Free Bay videos all the time. But anyways, on that note, have a great day, make money moves, and as always, family, remember, you can't get fired if you own the company. It's 2021, I'm claiming it. It's time for everybody to own something, all right, outside of a car. So have a great day, and as always, family, make money moves. Take care.